What's up, you guys? It's Jono! Welcome to another episode of my Pokemon Legends Arceus request series. Today we're on request number 94, Incarnate Forces of Hisui. This is the request where we catch 4 legendary Pokemon, the forces of nature, including Tornadus, Landorus, Thundurus, and Enamorous. We're also going to receive the Reveal Glass item, which can transform these 4 legendary Pokemon. This request will unlock automatically after you defeat Evil Volo and Giratina in the post-game mission seeking the remaining plates. This is really late in the game and it's basically beating the post-game and going into the post-game. So that means this is one of the last things that you're going to do before you reach the Daybreak DLC. This is also the last request that's available before the Daybreak DLC request. So this was technically the end of the game before Daybreak DLC came out. So welcome to the final request, although it's not technically the final request because Daybreak DLC added a bunch of requests and extra content to the game for free, I might add. It's one of the very few free DLCs we've ever seen. So in this case, we still have to get a bunch of Pokemon. In case you don't know already, you do have to get one of every Pokemon in the game to get Arceus unlocked. So of course, we're going to have to get all the legendary Pokemon to get Arceus unlocked. So request 94 is very important in the process to getting Arceus. Alright, so like I mentioned earlier, after you defeat Evil Volo and Giratina, once you go back into the Galaxy Hall, you will unlock this request automatically. And after you do that, we're going to go and catch the first 3 of the forces of nature. The first one is Landorus, and I showed the map location where you can find it. It's on that little island called Ramanas Island in the Obsidian Fieldlands area. You'll notice that it's a Pokemon that's out of place with a bunch of air swirling around it. It's very obvious, but it might take you a little while to spot it the first time, so just make sure you fly over the island and you should be able to find it. The most important thing you need to know is that you can scare them away very easily, so if you go near them, they will get scared away and it makes it really hard to track them down. So you definitely need to use some sneaking items like smoke bombs. I also recommend to use feather balls to break their shield because you can throw the feather ball from really far away. So you can sneak up on it, hit it with the feather ball 3 times to break its shield, and then you can try to catch it like you can see I'm doing here. This will actually be really difficult and you will have a hard time catching it that way. And if you don't catch it with 1 ball, it'll break open its shield again and you have to go through the whole process all over again. And you can also be attacked by this wind thing. It's like a tornado that it will spawn on you, and that thing can knock you out really fast. So you gotta be careful. I do recommend on these encounters to just get into a battle with them, and then you can throw as many Pokeballs as you need to throw in order to secure the catch. They are very difficult battles because it's a level 70 opponent, so it may challenge your team, but it can also be really fun, and if you do accidentally knock out one of these Pokemon, don't worry about it because you can reset them by going back and forth to Jubilife Village and they will come right back. It's also worth mentioning that Landorus will spawn during any weather conditions. However, the next 2 Pokemon do have very specific weather conditions that must be met in order to get the Pokemon to spawn. So we're going to move on now to the Cobalt Coastlands and go and look for Thundurus. Thundurus will only appear during a thunderstorm, so make sure that you see a thunderstorm on your map. It should be at the top left. There's an icon that looks like a storm with a thunderbolt coming out of it. And then you want to head over to these 2 big pillars at the end of the Hand Peninsula in Cobalt Coastlands. You should see Thundurus running around. It looks exactly like Landorus, except of course that it is blue. So you're going to be looking for that blue Pokemon running around over where the Gyarados spawn. This can be a really tricky battle, and I did cut out a lot of footage because Gyarados gave me a really hard time. But just make sure that you keep on breaking the shield. You can engage Thundurus in a battle like I did with Landorus, or you can just catch it with a Backstrike and a Gigaton Ball. That may work out for you. It did work out for me, but keep in mind I did cut a lot of footage out of here because it just took forever to get these done. But the Backstrike and the Gigaton Ball really will get the job done, so I do highly recommend giving that at least a try. It's really hard to get close to Thundurus, Landorus, all these different Pokemon. So if you can't get close to it, just get into a battle. So now we are moving on to Tornadus, and Tornadus is located in the Alabaster Icelands. I showed the map just a second ago. Just keep in mind that you can only do this encounter during a snowstorm, and remember the wind is going to be blowing around during the snowstorm, just like during the thunderstorm as well. So you're looking for that blowing wind. Just because it's snowing doesn't mean it's a snowstorm. Just because it's raining doesn't mean it's a thunderstorm. You're looking for that blowing wind, and you should be able to identify it with the icon on your map as well. And this catch is just going to be the same as our previous catches, really nothing different. Alright you guys, so we finally caught all 3 of the initial Pokemon that we need, Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus. So you would think at this point you can go back and talk to Lady Cogita, and you would just be able to move on to the next portion of the request. However, you would be wrong. I did this and I was wrong as well. We still have to go and complete the Pokedex entries for these Pokemon. So I'm going to speed up this footage to 10x just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing their special move as well as agile style on their special move, and that is completing the Pokedex research. You only need to do this 3 times because you're getting 2 different research tasks done at the same time. You're getting the agile style move as well as the special moves. So every Pokemon in this group, Tornadus, Landorus, Thundurus, they all have their own special move, which is the move that's only unique to them. And using those moves is part of their research. Some of the legendary Pokemon have very little research that you can actually do. It's very few actual tasks. So using their special move is one of the tasks. And using the agile style is another one of the tasks. So once you do that 3 times, you will have enough research to get level 10 research on all 3 of those Pokemon. And then you can come back and talk to Lady Cogita, and things will move along in the request, and you finally get to see Enamorous. So this is the part of the story where we're going to get to meet up with Enamorous, and she's going to encourage us to go over to the Crimson Mirelands and find that Enamorous out in the bog, which is exactly what we're going to do once we get through all of this dialogue. Now, one thing I want to mention while we're getting through all this dialogue is that you could hunt for the initial 3 forces of nature, shiny hunt I mean, using Pokemon Sword and Shield in the Dynamax Adventures. However, Enamorous is not in Dynamax Adventures in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and as far as I know, there is no way to get shiny Enamorous on any Pokemon Switch games at this time. So I'm really hoping that we do get a shiny Enamorous opportunity in a future Pokemon game, possibly Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Who knows, but it would be really cool if that opportunity is made available, because we're not able to get a complete shiny living dex with no available opportunity to get shiny Enamorous, so that is worth noting. Eventually I will be going for the shiny Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus, but all of them are shiny locked in this game. You have to bring them from other games, and of course we won't be able to do that. Alright you guys, so moving on, let's go ahead and go over to the Crimson Mirelands. We'll head into the bog and we're gonna look for Enamorous. It can be a little bit hard to find, especially knowing which bog to go to, so that's why I'll put the map up on the screen. And you do have to look around a little bit before you can actually find Enamorous. It will just be running around similar to the way that you found the other Forces of Nature Pokemon, and it's going to have the same battle and catch mechanic as well. You want to break down the windshield using items to keep yourself shielded from being seen so it doesn't keep on running away from you. And then your best bet is to battle it, but you could also try to catch it in the wild as well. Enamorous is one of the more difficult legendary catches during this request because when it attacks you, it will confuse you, which makes you run all different directions than what you're trying to go. So it can be a little bit tricky, and if you do find yourself in that position, you can ride your mounted Pokemon, and it does seem to make that effect go away a little bit quicker. Other than that, it's basically the same process to catch Enamorous, and then once you get done with Enamorous, you still need to go and get level 10 research, just like you did for the other Pokemon. So right after we grab this Enamorous, we are going to put it on our team, which is the same reason why you can see the other legendary Pokemon on my team. I still have them on my team from before when I was getting the level 10 research, and we're going to get level 10 research as well, the exact same way using Enamorous. Now, I do like to get my level 10 research done right here in Obsidian Fieldlands. I think all these Bidoofs are really easy targets, so you can use this area with the Bidoofs and the Buweasels and the Shinx to get your research done really quickly. I did that for all of my perfect Pokedex research, and it went really fast for me, and of course the Pokemon are super easy, but you can honestly go do that research anywhere that you feel like doing it. Once you get that research done, then we are going to head back to the Ancient Retreat talk to Lady Cogita, and we are finally done with this request. Your reward for completing this request is a large XP candy. In my opinion, it should have been an extra large XP candy, but your other reward is of course the mirror item that allows the Pokemon to turn into their true form. So it's the reveal glass, and you'll be able to change all of these Pokemon into their other forms, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like origin form on Giratina and on Palkia and Dialga. Some Pokemon have an alternate form, and you'll use this reveal glass to turn these legendary forces into their other forms. So that's kind of cool if you like those Pokemon, if you're into those forms. I actually don't know that much about all these Pokemon in this request. I don't even know what game they come from. So it's really fun to chase them all down and interact with them. This was my first interaction ever with those Pokemon. So this was a really interesting request for me, and I definitely had fun interacting with these Pokemon for the first time in the Pokemon franchise. All right, you guys, this was a long episode. That's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it as informative as possible. Thanks everybody for watching, and the next episodes in this series are going to be Daybreak DLC. We are finally moving on to new DLC. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you to all of my amazing subscribers, and peace.